Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Walmart exclusive gold label Eradicator from Shockwave. Now I'm not familiar with this version of Eradicator. I'm familiar with the one from Death and Return of Superman. This one's all black. I'm not really sure why. I'll try to Google it and check it out. He's a Walmart exclusive figure. They only had Eradicator at the store I was at. They had 6 of him. There was no Vampire Batman in sight, and they even had the palette out, so it just simply was not there. Funny thing is, I had just ordered these 2 figures from Figurine for All. It's a Canadian website. But you know what? I'll keep my receipt, return that one when I get him. Now I've got him in hand today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, gold label collection, ages 12 plus, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, DC Multiverse Eradicator. Here he's in the package. Looks like we have a display stand, collector's card, and a couple of alternate hands. One side, Eradicator from Shockwave. Other side, Eradicator. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here he is posed up. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now to get this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, and then 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. His alternate hands appear to be using his energy effects. Now before we look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Eradicator. He's sort of an artificial intelligence program. Back in the Death and Return of Superman, when Superman died, he took on the form of Superman and sort of helped protect the world. I believe this version here is when the artificial intelligence is working for General Zod. I believe this is the villain version from Shockwave. I'm not familiar with Shockwave, but that's my understanding. So let's take a look at him. As you can see, starting with his face, he's got that signature Superman look, the curl, but these big shades. Now, this particular version is all black. Not really the version I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with the one that kind of looks like Superman, but has the big shades, and is part of that team from Death and Return of Superman. I believe this is the bad version working for General Zod. That's why it looks like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've got the Superman symbol here, a little bit of blue on his suit. Cape is flowing in the wind. Should look nice in a sort of a flight pose there. It's a good looking cape. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, double ball joints in the torso. Body is probably reuse. I'll have to check out later in the video just what they use for this figure. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And I do hope and believe they're going to give us a variant of Eradicator that's what I'm more familiar with from Death and Return of Superman. They also made the sort of more modern looking Superboy, and I'm hoping they're going to do a variant of him and the whole team. Time will tell. I bet they do though. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand we've seen a million times before. Black perfect circle. It says DC at the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the pegals on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Eradicator. He's all black, just like the figure. He's got the shades. His hands have the energy effects. That's what his alternate hands are supposed to be. Eradicator from Shockwave. On the back side, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. You can see at the end there, it talks about serving Zod's family. Now let's take a look at his hands. He has 2 pair, 2 fisted hands, and 2 open hands with sort of the energy effect going on. Here's Eradicator with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his alternate pair of hands, these appear to be sort of his energy effects. First glance, I just thought they were sort of tipless gloves. Don't really think they translated quite as good as I'd hoped for. I didn't quite get what I was looking at first. Now let's check out his reuse. I thought this body looked familiar. Believe it to be pretty much all the same parts from the Rebirth Superman. From the boots, inaccurate Rebirth Superman boots. Going further up, looks like maybe the diaper area is a little bit different. Chest and torso appear to be the same. Arms look to be mostly the same. Looks like they're pretty much the same figure, Different diaper, different head, different cape. And all of these figures have shared pretty much the same body. The Hush Superman, Bizarro, Eradicator, Rebirth Superman, and the Infected Superman. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, you can rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down about that far. His head combined with his torso, pretty good flight pose. Shoulders, ball joint, goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have that signature McFarlane butterfly joint, covering up the gap and increasing the range of motion. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. Oh, there goes his hand. Pop that thing back on there. Wrists, rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Torso, rotate around, ball joint, forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion here. It does expose that gap, so just be careful how you're posing him. Legs, complete as a splits, not a ball joint. Similar type idea though. Rotation is non-existent. They go forward about that much, back not very much. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle here, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and to articulation. Here's Eradicator hovering in the skies above Metropolis. Nice flight pose, cape fluttering in the wind. And here's an image of Eradicator floating in the city skies using his powers. Energy effects on his hands. Here's a scene in the Metropolis city streets. Superman is confronting General Zod. And out of nowhere, Eradicator comes. The tides are turned. Superman has his hands full. Now let's check him out. Next is some other action figures. Starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. So I don't have any other Eradicator figures to compare to. I really hope they make one from the Death and Return of Superman. And on that subject, you could probably really easily customize that guy. Now the first figure I would like to compare him to would be the McFarlane DC Multiverse Walmart exclusive gold label Vampire Batman, but I simply did not find him. I do have one on the way, so I should have him soon. Here he is, next to General Zod, whom I believe this version of Eradicator served his family. Here's our Eradicator, next to a bunch of different McFarlane Superman rogues. We have Superboy Prime, Bizarro, Eradicator, General Zod, Ultraman, and Lex Luthor. And both Lobo and Devastator are kind of Superman rogues. Lobo started off as a Superman villain, and Devastator is a cross between Superman and Batman and Doomsday. Here's Eradicator, next to several different McFarlane Superman figures. Then, next to even some more Superman figures, here he is, next to the Infected Superman, another evil Superman type character. Then, next to the John Kent Superboy, another supporting Superman character. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Target exclusive Flashpoint Aquaman and Target exclusive Deadman. And here he is, next to the Shazam 2 movie Shazam and the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin. Then, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. Here's Eradicator, next to the two most recent Mega figures, Frankenstein and Mongol. And here he is, next to the most recent McFarlane Gaming Wave, Arkham City Joker, and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. Then, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. And now, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. Now let's check him out, next to some recent collective Build-A-Figure waves. Here he is, next to the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate collective build Star Wars the Conqueror wave. And here he is, next to the Speed Metal wave, collective build The Darkest Knight. Then, next to the Batman Arkham City wave, collective build an undersized Solomon Grundy. I have both the color versions on the left and the black-gray versions on the right. And now, here's Eradicator next to the third wave of Page Punchers. This is a Flash-themed wave. We've got Flash, Atom, Heatwave, Gorilla Grodd, and both versions of Captain Cold. Here's Eradicator next to the second wave of Page Punchers. This is based off Injustice 2. We've got Batman and Green Arrow. And here he is, next to the first wave of Page Punchers. This is a Black Adam themed wave. We've got Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. Then, next to a Target exclusive Ocean Master and the 30th anniversary Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. And now, with some more Target exclusive figures, we've got Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern from Changing the Guard, Defiance Deathstroke, the Black Adam movie Black Adam with Throne, and the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman variant. And finally, here he is, next to some more Walmart exclusive figures. We have Parallax Hal Jordan, Azrael Batman Armor, Rebirth Shazam, and the Speed Metal Dark Flash. Here's this Eradicator that looks kind of like a black Superman, next to an actual black Superman. Well, this is Val Zod, and an Eradicator doesn't look like a black Superman as far as a black man, but literally an actual black Superman. Looks pretty weird. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, here's Eradicator next to a sack of potatoes. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares 4-net figures. Overall, it's a nice figure. I don't have that much of an attachment to the character Eradicator. I'd love to complete the team from Death Return of Superman, but this version, the all-black version that I believe is a villain, I am not familiar with at all. So the character selection, I like the character, but this particular version doesn't do too much for me, and the body is a ton of reuse. His accessories, the alternate hands, they don't really come out looking the way I think they intended. Sculpt and paint job are fine, no issues there. I think they could use this exact same sculpt, repainted, and give us the 90s version of Eradicator. If I were to rate this guy, probably going to a 6 out of 10, falling a little bit short in my book. This particular version of the character just doesn't really interest me. I would have much preferred to find Vampire Batman at Walmart. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.